£150 billion. That's the headline figure splashed across the UK government's announcement, a record-breaking sum of inward investment, tied directly to Donald Trump's state visit. Ministers are calling it the largest commercial package ever linked to a visit of its kind, a sign, they insist, that Britain is open for business on the global stage. But behind the glittering number lies a far more complicated story. Because while the government hails this as an economic triumph, the politics around it are anything but straightforward. Hosting Trump for an unprecedented second state visit has split public opinion wide open, leaving Prime Minister Keir Starmer walking a dangerous tightrope between economic opportunity and political risk. The government wasted no time in seizing the spotlight. Within hours of Trump's royal reception, Downing Street announced that his visit had unlocked £150 billion in inward investment for Britain. Officials proudly declared it the largest commercial package ever secured from a state visit, presenting it as a historic moment for the UK economy. But dig a little deeper, and the picture becomes more complex. Much of that headline figure is a blend of fresh deals and previously announced pledges, repackaged to amplify the scale of the moment. For Starmer's team, though, the details matter less than the optics. A big, round number they can brandish as proof that Britain is once again a magnet for global money. At the heart of this investment surge are two heavyweight names. Blackstone, the private equity giant, accounts for the lion's share with a staggering £100 billion pledge. It's framed as a long-term commitment to the UK economy, signaling confidence in Britain's financial sector. Alongside that comes £3.9 billion from Prologis, directed into life sciences and advanced manufacturing, industries the government is desperate to promote as engines of future growth. Yet these aren't instant windfalls landing in the Treasury's bank account. They're multi-year projects, slow-burning investments that will take time to materialize. For Starmer, however, the timing couldn't be better. In politics, the perception of momentum often matters more than the reality on the ground. The timing of the announcement was no accident. Just hours before Keir Starmer was set to meet Donald Trump, Downing Street dropped the £150 billion figure, a carefully choreographed move designed to put the Prime Minister on the front foot. Starmer has been under fire in recent weeks, accused of political missteps and struggling to maintain authority inside his own party. For Labour, this moment is an opportunity to flip the script. By tying record investment to his leadership, they can frame it as proof that Starmer is capable of delivering the economic revival he promised during last year's election. It's less about the fine print of the deals and more about projecting strength at a moment when he needs it most. But the investment fanfare comes with a heavy dose of controversy. Donald Trump has now been granted something no other U.S. president has received: an unprecedented second state visit to Britain. For some, it's a bold diplomatic play that signals pragmatism. For others, it looks like Britain rolling out the red carpet for one of the most divisive figures in modern politics. Protest groups accuse the government of sacrificing principles for profit, while supporters argue that the economic stakes are simply too high to ignore. The question lingers in the air. Can a record-breaking deal justify the political risk of embracing Trump so publicly? To sell the deal at home, the government points to jobs. Officials claim the investment will generate 7,600 new roles across the UK, in sectors from advanced manufacturing to life sciences. It's a headline-grabbing promise, but one that raises eyebrows. Opposition MPs and economists alike warn that such jobs may take years to materialize, if they arrive at all. The uncertainty cuts to the heart of Keir Starmer's central pledge: to lift living standards and breathe life back into Britain's stagnant economy. For millions of voters waiting on pay rises, cheaper bills, and more secure work, the gap between lofty numbers and everyday reality could prove politically dangerous. The financial headlines don't just flow one way. While Britain celebrates £150 billion coming in, British firms are sending billions overseas. Case in point, pharmaceutical giant GSK revealed a $30 billion research and development investment in the United States. On one hand, it's framed as a story of mutual benefit, signaling strong transatlantic ties and collaboration. On the other, it highlights a persistent reality. At the center of it all is Keir Starmer, navigating a political tightrope. He must appear statesmanlike, projecting authority while rubbing shoulders with a figure as polarizing as Donald Trump. The risk is glaring. Critics are ready to pounce, eager to paint him as too cozy with a leader whose rhetoric has divided opinion on both sides of the Atlantic. Yet the potential reward is equally high. By securing record-breaking investment and framing it as a win for the British economy, Starmer can position himself as a pragmatic leader, someone who delivers tangible results even in the stormiest political waters. Every handshake, every headline becomes part of a high-stakes performance, with the Prime Minister's credibility hanging in the balance. In the end, Britain finds itself in a paradox. On one hand, £150 billion in investment promises jobs, growth, and long-term economic opportunities. On the other, it comes tied to the visit of one of the most divisive figures in modern politics. The optics are impossible to ignore, and the public will be watching closely to see whether this gamble pays off or leaves lasting scars on Starmer's leadership. Drop your thoughts below. Does this deal prove Starmer's gamble paid off, or will it backfire?